Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Cyclone Asani intensifies into severe cyclonic storm. Heavy rain likely to lash Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal from tomorrow. Union Home Minister Amit Shah visits Indo-Bangladesh border at Mankasar in Assam to launch several development projects. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says Jan Suraksha schemes are providing social security and have brought insurance and pension within the reach of the common man in the past 7 years. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar speaks with his Jamaican counterpart Kamina J. Smith. Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia and Justice Jamshed V. Pardiwala take oath as Supreme Court judges. In Telangana, 9 persons including 6 women killed and 16 others injured in a road accident. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses shock and sanctions ex gratia payments. G7 countries pledge to phase out imports of Russian oil over Ukraine issue. US announces new sanctions against Russian companies. In World Boxing Championships, Tokyo Olympics bronze medalist Lovelina Borgohain to kickstart India's campaign in Istanbul today. International Shooting Sport Federation Junior World Cup to start today in Seoul in Germany, and in IPL, Kolkata Knight Riders to face Mumbai Indians at the Dr. D.Y. Patil Sports Academy, Navi Mumbai this evening. The cyclonic storm Asani continues to move west-northwestward in the direction of North Andhra Pradesh Odisha coast. Though the Indian Meteorological Department has said the cyclone will not make landfall either in Andhra Pradesh or Odisha, moderate to heavy rain is likely over the coastal districts of Odisha, even as Asani comes closer near the coast tomorrow. We spoke to DGIMD.
The cyclone storm over Bay of Bengal is now centered over west central Bay of Bengal and adjoining areas of South Bay of Bengal. It is a severe cyclone storm with speed of 100 to 110 kilometers per hour near the center. It is expected to move northwestward till tomorrow, and thereafter it will change its path and will move northeastward off Andhra Pradesh and Odisha coast. Under its influence, sea condition is high, and the fishermen have been advised not to venture into the sea. Those at sea should return to the coast. There could be light to moderate for a few places over the coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh. And on 10th and 11th, there could be light to moderate rainfall at many places over coastal Andhra Pradesh and coastal districts of Odisha, with possibility of heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places.
We have a report from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Asani is likely to approach North Andhra Odisha coast by tomorrow and will recurve northeastward only to weaken gradually. On its part, the Odisha government has decided to evacuate the people residing in mud houses in the low-lying areas of at least 15 blocks of 4 coastal districts like Ganjam, Puri, Jagatsinghpur and Kendrapada to safe shelters. As part of the disaster response, pregnant women in these areas who are expecting their babies in the next 15 days will also be shifted to the nearest government hospital. Rescue teams of NDRF and ODRAF are kept ready in places which are likely to be hit by heavy rain. Meanwhile, all the fishing boats, numbering more than 6,000 that were away into the sea, have returned and have safely been berthed. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Our Kolkata correspondent reports there will be moderate rainfall over Gangetic West Bengal from tomorrow till Friday, with a possibility of heavy downpour in coastal districts of East Midnapur, South 24 Parganas and North 24 Parganas. The administration in these districts is making adequate arrangements of food and other rescue materials in cyclone shelters, schools and other buildings. Awareness campaigns are being carried out in all the coastal regions. Fishermen have been advised not to venture into East, Central and Southeast Bay of Bengal and adjoining Andaman Sea. The Kolkata Municipal Corporation has put on alert all its employees and disaster management teams in view of the formation of the cyclonic storm. The State Agriculture Department issued an advisory to the farmers to cut ripe paddy, thresh and store it in godowns. They have also been advised to remain updated about weather forecasts and accordingly take measures for protection of crops. Union Home Minister Amit Shah visited the Indo-Bangladesh border at Mankasar in Assam today. He was accompanied by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, Panchayat and Rural Development Minister Ranjit Kumar Das and senior officials. He took stock of the border management at Mankasar and also interacted with the BSF officials on various issues. The Home Minister was given a warm welcome by the people residing at Mankasar. He also interacted with them. Later in the day, he will inaugurate BSF's Central Store and Workshop and also launch Khadi and Village Industries products at Tamulpur. The Home Minister will also inaugurate the Census Office at Amingaon. Later in the evening, Mr. Shah will inaugurate the 300-bedded super speciality units of the Guwahati Medical College and Hospital.
Chief Justice of India, Justice N.P. Ramanna, today administered the oath of office to Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia and Justice Jamshed B. Pardiwala at a function in the Supreme Court. Before appointment to the Apex Court, Justice Dhulia was Chief Justice of Guwahati High Court and Justice Pardiwala was Judge in the Gujarat High Court. With the appointment of Justice Dhulia and Justice Pardiwala, the top court now has full strength of 34 judges. Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana PMJJBY, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana PMSBY and Atal Pension Yojana APY today complete 7 years of providing social security net. The schemes were launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 9th of May 2015 in Kolkata, West Bengal. These schemes have been successful in providing affordable insurance and security to people. More from a correspondent.
Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha yesterday took part in the auspicious Navagrah Mangalamay Puja at the ancient Mart and Sun Temple in Matan area of South Kashmir's Anantnag district. The puja was held in the presence of saints, members of Kashmiri Pandit community and local residents of Matan. Lieutenant Governor Mr. Sinha termed the event a truly divine experience. Mr. Sinha said that his administration is making dedicated efforts to transform historical spiritual places of Jammu and Kashmir.
We apologize for the wrong voice cast there. On completion of 7 years of Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that 3 Jan Suraksha schemes have brought insurance and pension within the reach of the common man. She said the number of people enrolled and benefited from the schemes over the last 7 years is a testimony to the success of the schemes. Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Bhagwat Karad, congratulated all banks and insurance companies for successful implementation of these schemes and requested them to continue working with the same zeal and dedication till the last person is covered.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today spoke to Jamaican Foreign Minister Kamina J. Smith. They discussed preparations for the historic visit of President Ramnath Kovind to Jamaica. Dr. Jaishankar was apprised of her candidature for Commonwealth Secretary General. He said Ms. Kamina J. Smith's strong credentials and vision bode well for the future of the Commonwealth. In Bihar, Economic Offence Unit EOU of the state government has begun inquiry into the paper leak of Bihar Public Service Commission Bpsc PT examination. A 13-member team led by ADG Nayar Hussain Khan is inquiring the concerned people in this regard. The inquiry team reached Bpsc office last night and inquired about dispatch process of the question paper to the centre. The team talked to Bpsc chairman and examination controller in this regard. The DGP said evidence is being scientifically analysed. Bpsc chairman R.K. Mahajan said the matter has been reported with the respective authorities and the cyber cell is looking into the matter now. It may be noted that Bihar Public Service Commission BPSC has cancelled the 67th Combined Competitive Preliminary Examination conducted yesterday. The decision was taken by the Commission after the question paper went viral online. BPSC chairman said new exam dates would be announced in due course of time.
In Uttarakhand, BJP candidate and Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has filed nomination papers for the Champawat Assembly by-elections today. Congress candidate Nirmala Gehtori will file nomination on May 11th. Voting for the by-election will be held on May 31st, while the counting of votes will take place on June 3rd. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Fisheries, Dairy and Animal Husbandry, Dr. L. Murugan, visited the project site for 2 fishing harbours in Tamil Nadu today. The 2 fishing harbours have been built in the backwaters in Azhagankuppam in Viluppuram district and Alampa Raikuppam in Chengalpattu district at the cost of 235 crore rupees. The fishing harbours are part of Fisheries and Aquaculture Infrastructure Development Fund, FIDF, were demanded since a long time. Dr. Murugan suggested various incorporations like construction of hospital, ice factory and processing units in the proposed fishing harbour and reduce inputs cost.
Over 190 crore 34 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 13,50,000 doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 98.74%. 3,410 people recovered in the last 24 hours. Total recoveries have reached 4 crore 25 lakh 60,905. 3,207 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload currently stands at 20,403. 29 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry today said that more than 193 crore 53 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and UTs so far through the centre's free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. It said more than 18 crore 34 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs to be administered.
In Telangana, 9 persons, including 6 women, died and 16 others were injured when a vehicle they were travelling in collided with a lorry in Kamareddy district. The mishap occurred in Yallareddy Mandal when the driver of the four-wheeler collided with a truck coming in the opposite direction. Police said 2, including the driver, died on the spot while 3 others died on the way to hospital. 2 persons died in Nizamabad District Hospital while 2 more succumbed to injuries in Banswada Hospital. Investigation is on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed distress at the loss of lives in the accident. In a tweet, Mr. Modi expressed condolences to the bereaved families and prayed for the injured. He said 2 lakh rupees each from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund would be given to the next of kin of the deceased. The Prime Minister said the injured would be given 50,000 rupees. The Congress Working Committee CWC is meeting today in New Delhi. The CWC meet is likely to finalize the proposals of the 6 panels which were formed last month to deliberate upon the political and economical situation in the country. Party is preparing the ground for the 3-day Chintan Shivir, which is slated to begin from May 13th in Udaipur later this week. The Congress's Chintan Shivir, which was last held in 2003, has been organized at a time the party is losing elections and has been reduced to 29 seats in Rajya Sabha and 53 in Lok Sabha.
Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Minister Piyush Goyal today said the government is working towards one nation, one standard. Delivering the inaugural address at the National Workshop on Legal Metrology Act 2009, the minister said Indian products should be of a high standard. He said it is the government's responsibility to ensure that consumers' interests are not compromised. Solar Energy Corporation of India has signed an MOU with the Home Ministry in order to harness the potential of solar energy on the available rooftop areas in the campuses of the Central Armed Police Forces and National Security Guard. Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla and Secretary Ministry of New and Renewable Energy were present on the occasion. The MOU is a step ahead towards supply of green power to the country's security forces and reinforces the government's commitment towards a sustainable future.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Cyclone Asani intensifies into severe cyclonic storm. Heavy rain likely to lash Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal from tomorrow. Union Home Minister Amit Shah visits the Indo-Bangladesh border at Mankachar in Assam to launch several development projects. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says Jan Suraksha schemes are providing social security and have brought insurance and pension within the reach of the common man in the past 7 years. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar speaks with his Jamaican counterpart Kamina J. Smith. Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia and Justice Jamshed B. Pardiwala take oath as Supreme Court judges. In Telangana, 9 persons, including 6 women, killed and 16 others injured in a road accident. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses shock and sanctions ex gratia payments. G7 countries pledge to phase out imports of Russian oil over Ukraine issue. US announces new sanctions against Russian companies. In World Boxing Championships, Tokyo Olympics bronze medalist Lovlina Borgohain to kickstart India's campaign in Istanbul today. International Shooting Sport Federation Junior World Cup to start today at Seoul in Germany. And in IPL, Kolkata Knight Riders to face Mumbai Indians at the Dr. D.Y. Patil Sports Academy, Navi Mumbai this evening. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
क्या आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के प्रोग्राम अभ्यास में हमारे विशेषज्ञ आपके सवालों का देंगे जवाब। शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। इस बार का विषय है इंडियन हिस्ट्री। प्रश्न भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 11 मई। आप इससे जुड़े सवाल व्हाट्सएप करें 9289094044 पर या सवाल ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the midday news. The Border Security Force BSF shot down a drone from Pakistan and recovered 10.67 kilograms of heroin near the border village of Bharowal in Amritsar district in Punjab early this morning. A BSF official said that BSF jawans on night duty heard a buzzing sound of the drones in the area between Dauke and Bharowal and fired towards them, bringing one drone down. The area was searched and the drone and contraband packed in 9 small packets concealed in a plastic bag were recovered. The National Investigation Agency NIA today conducted raids at several locations in Mumbai in connection with fugitive gangster Dawood Ibrahim. The raids by the Counter-Terror Agency included locations related to Hawala operators. NIA detained Salim Qureshi, aka Salim Fruit, an associate of Dawood Ibrahim. Some important documents also were seized. NIA had registered a case in the month of February against several Hawala operators and drug peddlers associated with Dawood.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Martand Surya Temple at Matan in South Kashmir's Anantnag district is the oldest Surya temple in the country and reminds us of the excellent archaeological grandeur in the Kashmir Valley. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha yesterday participated in a puja archana at the Sun Temple and described his visit to this temple as a divine experience in a godly ambience. More from a Srinagar correspondent.
Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha yesterday took part in the auspicious Navagrah Mangalamay Puja at the ancient Martand Sun Temple in Matan area of South Kashmir's Anantnag district. The puja was held in the presence of saints, members of Kashmiri Pandit community and local residents of Matan. Lieutenant Governor Mr. Sinha termed the event a truly divine experience. Mr. Sinha said that his administration is making dedicated efforts to transform historical spiritual places of Jammu and Kashmir into vibrant centers that will guide us on the path of righteousness and blesses this beautiful land of Kashmir with peace, happiness and prosperity. Sunil Kol, AIR News, Srinagar.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, security forces arrested a terrorist associate of proscribed terror outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba in Baramulla along with arms and ammunition.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid tributes to Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore on his Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "In thought and action, Gurudev Tagore continues to inspire millions of people." The Prime Minister said he taught us to be proud of our nation, culture and ethos. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid tributes to Maharana Pratap on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Maharana Pratap was a synonym of bravery and might, and the story of his courage and struggle will always inspire countrymen. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed grief at the demise of noted literator and playwright Dr. Rajat Kumar Kar. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said his engaging and eloquent commentary of the Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath will be missed by all. He expressed condolences to the family members and admirers. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Dr. Rajat Kumar Kar was a doyen of the cultural world and his multifaceted persona was seen in the manner in which he chronicled the Rath Yatra, wrote on diverse topics and worked to revive Pala art.
At Russia's annual Victory Day parade in Moscow, President Vladimir Putin said that the intervention in Ukraine was necessary as the West was creating threats to Russia's borders and preparing for the invasion of Russian lands. He also said the West ignored Russia's proposals for dialogue. Russia celebrates May 9th as Victory Day, the day when Russian troops triumphed over Nazi Germany in World War II. Group of 7 G7 countries have pledged to ban or phase out imports of Russian oil over Ukraine row. The announcement came as the G7 held its third meeting of the year yesterday via video conference with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky participating. The meeting was called to discuss the conflict, support for Ukraine and additional measures against Moscow, including on energy.
The United States has announced a new round of sanctions against Russia targeting Moscow's media, financial institutions and other companies. According to a statement released by the White House, U.S. will sanction 3 major Russian television stations and deny all Russian companies access to consulting and accounting services offered by American firms. Voting is underway for presidential election in the Philippines. The election decides its next president in a race between Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Leni Robredo, a human rights lawyer.
And now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember eminent freedom fighter Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who was born on the 9th of May, 1866. A moderate political leader and a social reformer, Gokhale was a senior leader of the Indian National Congress and the founder of the Servants of India Society.
Gokhale was famously a mentor to Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji recognized Gokhale as an admirable leader and master politician, describing him as pure as crystal, gentle as a lamb, brave as a lion, and chivalrous to a fault, and the most perfect man in the political field. Recalling his first meeting with Gokhale in Pune on October the 12th, 1896, Gandhiji wrote,
I met Gokhale. I found him on the Ferguson College grounds. Gopal Krishna Gokhale gave me an affectionate welcome, and his manner immediately won my heart. With him, this was my first meeting, and yet it seemed as though we were renewing an old friendship. So Firoz Shah had seemed to me like the Himalaya, the Lokmanya like the ocean, but Gokhale was as the Ganges. One could have a refreshing bath in the holy river. The Himalaya was unscalable, and one could not easily launch forth on the sea. But the Ganges invited one to its bosom. It was a joy to be on it with a boat and an oar. Gokhale closely examined me, as a schoolmaster would examine a candidate seeking admission to a school. He told me whom to approach and how to approach them. He asked to have a look at my speech. He assured me that he was always at my disposal and sent me away exultantly happy. In the sphere of politics, the place that Gokhale occupied in my heart during his lifetime, and occupies even now, was and is absolutely unique.
Gopal Krishna Gokhale died on the 19th of February, 1915. We salute this great nationalist.
We also remember activist for Indians in South Africa, Bhavani Dayal Sannyasi, who died on the 9th of May, 1950. He was the editor of various India-related newsletters such as The Pravasi, and collaborated with Mahatma Gandhi and represented the South African Indians at the Indian National Congress. He was also active in the Arya Samaj.
Bhavani Dayal came from a family that had moved from Ara district, Bihar, as indentured labourers to South Africa. His parents, Babu Jairam Singh and Mohini Devi, became free citizens in 1884 and settled in Johannesburg, where Dayal was born. Dayal joined Gandhiji in the passive resistance movement of 1913. In 1919, he represented the South African Indians at the Amritsar session of the Indian National Congress.
Dayal founded a journal called Hindi and protested a British plan in 1921 to repatriate Indians to British Guyana. Dayal founded a Pravasi Bhavan in his home village at Bahuara, Bihar, with a library and school in 1926-27. In 1930, he took part in the Salt Satyagraha in India, and on March 29th, he was booked for seditious speeches including those delivered by him in Fiji. In 1932, he went back to South Africa.
Bhavani Dayal continued to work for the betterment of people till his death in 1950. We salute the great patriot.
We remember independence activists Narayan Murmu, Baju Murmu and Baidyanath Tudu, who were arrested on the 9th of May 1943 for taking part in the Quit India movement. The three were residents of village Dumaria, Santhal Parganas, Jharkhand, and also took part in the Lathi Pahad agitation. They died during their internment. We salute the great martyrs.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
International Shooting Sport Federation ISSF Junior World Cup will start today at Shul in Germany. Ace shooters Manu Bhakar and Saurabh Chaudhary will lead the Indian contingent at the event. Tokyo Olympics bronze medalist Lovelina Borgohain will kickstart India's campaign at IBA Women's World Boxing Championships in Istanbul today. The Indian pugilists were handed a mixed draw in the championships. Borgohain will be up against former world champion Chen Nian-chin in an opening bout of 70 kg category.
In the BWF Thomas Cup finals in Thailand, Kidambi Srikanth beat Brian Yang 20-22-21, 11-21-15 on the second day today. India is now leading Canada 1-0. Earlier, Indian men's badminton team showcased terrific performance against Germany in the first group match of the 2022 Thomas Cup yesterday. In IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Mumbai Indians at the Dr. D.Y. Patil Sports Academy, Navi Mumbai at 7:30 p.m. tonight.
Domestic share markets opened with losses today as bears continued to dominate. S&P BSE Sensex was up from lows but was still trading in red. Sensex was down 300 points or 0.58% at 54,526 points, while NSE Nifty 50 fell 85 points or 0.52% to sit above 16,300. In the forex market, Indian rupee recorded an all-time low of 77 rupees and 42 paise against the US dollar in today's early trade.
Kerala is likely to witness isolated heavy rain accompanied by lightning and thunderstorms till Thursday. Yellow alert has been issued to Alappuzha, Idukki, Kottayam, Ernakulam districts today. The Met Department has forecast squally weather with strong winds over Kerala in the coming days under the influence of Asani, the severe cyclone storm formed in the Bay of Bengal. Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 28 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 41 degrees. Mumbai is also expected to have mainly clear sky. Chennai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Srinagar, Jammu, Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad are likely to have mainly clear sky. Visakhapatnam and Bengaluru are expected to have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Thiruvananthapuram and Hyderabad are expected to have generally cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm as well. Puducherry is likely to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Cyclone Asani intensifies into severe cyclonic storm. Heavy rain likely to lash Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal from tomorrow. Union Home Minister Amit Shah visits Indo-Bangladesh border at Mankasar in Assam to launch several development projects. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says Jan Suraksha schemes are providing social security and have brought insurance and pension within the reach of the common man in the past 7 years. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar speaks with his Jamaican counterpart Kamina J. Smith. Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia and Justice Jamshed B. Pardiwala take oath as Supreme Court judges. In Telangana, 9 persons, including 6 women, killed and 16 others injured in a road accident. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses shock and sanctions ex gratia payments. G7 countries pledge to phase out imports of Russian oil over Ukraine issue. US announces new sanctions against Russian companies. In World Boxing Championships, Tokyo Olympic bronze medalist Lavlina Borgohain to kickstart India's campaign in Istanbul today. International Shooting Sport Federation Junior World Cup to start today at Seoul in Germany. In IPL, Kolkata Knight Riders to face Mumbai Indians in Navi Mumbai this evening. And with that, we end the midday news.